Hi, welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. I'm your host, Brian Koval. Before we get started, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. If you want to see me play your favorite deck or your spicy brew on the channel, I take donation deck lists. I'll do a deck tech, play a full Magic Online League, and help tune your list. If that sounds good, check out my contact info. It's in the video description below. Now let's go play some Magic.
I'm playing Legacy today, and this is a spicy brew from Eric Virgo. So Eric, I met him for the first time a few years ago when he top aided both Legacy and Vintage Champs in the same weekend at Eternal Weekend. And if you scroll down his Twitter at Ninth on Breakers, by the way, you'll see a lot of screenshots of him doing crazy things with a bunch of Soul Wardens in play. That's basically all he's been tweeting lately. And I'm lucky enough that he hit me up to do a donation deck list to play that deck, which is great because I was enamored with it anyway. He's done some tuning, and here it is. So, this is basically the modern Heliod combo deck. Um, you have Heliod and Spike Feeder gain infinite life together. Heliod says whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature you control. Spike Feeder comes into play with two +1/+1 counters on it. You can remove a counter to gain 2 life. So Spike Feeder plus Heliod is infinite life just on their own. If you give Walking Ballista lifelink with Heliod in play, and Heliod's third ability or fourth ability, he has nothing but abilities. Heliod's bottom ability is white and 1, another target creature gains lifelink. So if you give a 2/2 Walking Ballista lifelink, you can deal infinite damage because you ping for 1, then Heliod triggers because you gained life, then you put the counter on Walking Ballista, then you ping for another one. If you play Pioneer or Modern at all, you've probably seen that combo before. They actually banned this combo in Pioneer. They were worried about it. So that's how the deck wins. But the core of this deck, what's really cool here is that there are 4 Sylvan libraries. Sylvan Library has been picking up in Legacy in general as a non-blue source of card advantage in a lot of like Uro mirrors and Delver decks boarded in. It's always been a Legacy playable card, but lately, especially with Uro everywhere gaining lots of life, this card has really shown up in a big way in the last year or so. And being playing the 12 Soul Wardens here, actual Soul Warden, Soul's Attendant, and Essence Warden, should provide a pretty steady stream of life so you can always draw 3 off Sylvan Library. So that's what's really going on here. Eric actually calls the deck Green-White Library in the file he sent me, which is interesting because to me it's Green-White Soul Sisters, but the way that he titled that deck, whether consciously or otherwise, shows that he thinks this is a Sylvan Library deck, and these are just supporting it. I would have had Sylvan Library in my head as a support card, and the Soul Wardens are actually the core of the deck, but I doubt that really matters in practice. But so that's the plan. Even if we don't go off, we're going to gain a lot of life. It's going to be pretty hard for opponents to kill us with damage. Got 6 Mother of Runes in the deck to protect our things, and Green Sun Zenith ties some of it together. 1 Destiny Spinner is fun. We can make sure our Heliod and Sylvan libraries resolve. And I mean, that's the deck. And then it's pretty set up to just outgrind a fair decks. And then the sideboard is just cards that beat combo. 4 Deafening Silence, 4 Rest in Peace, 4 Veil of Summer, Collector Oof, Gaddock Teague, and then 1 Night of Autumn for probably Chalice of the Void is the biggest offender. So that's the plan. Let's go get into it, and let's play Eric's deck. All right, we're on the play here with a pretty nice curve. We get a Giver of Runes into double Soul Warden. I can save the Destiny Spinner until I'm ready to cast Heliod. I make sure it doesn't get countered, but I'm going to keep this. I do unfortunately have to fetch Savannah and just hope that they're not a Wasteland deck because my hand does not line up super well against Wasteland. But since I'm on the play, if they choose to Wasteland, that means they're not killing Giver of Runes. They're mulliganing to 5, which means that they are a combo deck or they're unlucky. Those are generally the options. Let's hope that they are unlucky, because combo is tough game 1 here. But I mean, we are also a combo deck. I managed to miss my 50-50 coin flip of tapping Savannah for the right mana. So by playing turn 1 Giver, that shows my opponent that I have more than 4 of this effect, because Mother is mostly just better. And unless you're trying to play around exactly Plague Engineer by not overloading on humans. But I don't think that that's really worth doing. Like Giver can't protect herself, Mother can. But Giver can get protection from Colorless, which Mother can't. So it's not a full, like, strictly better situation. It's really hard to get anything strictly better. Oh, they're elves. I guess the game now is seeing if Soul Warden and Essence Warden can outrace Craterhoof Behemoth. Oh, this is gonna be crazy. Alright, I mean, let's do the damn thing. Okay, so I could play. No, their deck doesn't have removal in it. I'm just gonna get Soul Wardens happening. I'm not gonna attack, even though I could. I would rather protect my Wardens. And like, if I need to absorb damage, this is 2 extra blocking damage, like if they do hoof me. I'm gonna have to set a lot of auto yields with this deck. There's gonna be so many triggers on the stack, and I can't even wait. So this is either a Visionary or a Zenith. Oh, it's a Glimpse floating 1 mana for some reason. Alright, and they're going for it. If they have Cradle, they can go pretty deep this turn. It's gonna be pretty hard for them to actually kill me through double Soul Warden on turn 2, though. Like, they could certainly create an overwhelming board state. They have 3 mana right now. Any 1-drop they cast with Dryad Arbor is free because the Cradle. We'll just count that next. This looks pretty tight, though. Like, I'm not sure how they get up to Natural Order this turn. Yeah, I think this was just a value glimpse. Unless they have Heritage Druid off of the Dryad Arbor right now, but they would have cast Heritage Druid first to save Cradle if they had that. So if they have a Heritage Druid, they just drew it off of the Visionary. Alright, and they can get 1 more trigger this turn by bouncing Quirion Ranger to untap Dryad Arbor, then they cast the Ranger again, and they get 1 more card. I would really like to find the land to get Heliod to work, because that Heliod turns all of their elves into a bigger creature for me. Oh, they did find a Heritage Druid? Okay, but they are out of elves this turn and out of mana. So we dodged that at least. Let's find out if it matters. Guess I just have to cast 2 more idiots and gain some more life. Try to get out of range. Now also noteworthy is that Heliod will arrive as a creature and immediately trigger all of my wardens because I have devotion. My devotion is 5, including the Heliod. So if I A, survive this turn, and B, draw a land, I can start growing my monsters. They have so many cards in their hand. Crater Hoof is pretty solid here. Crater Hoof is scaling much faster than my Soul Wardens, which is not a surprise. So this is really funny that they have to work through 40 plus life. They haven't made a land drop yet either, which is pretty scary. Could they like hoof me twice? Alright, I love everything they do that isn't Crater Hoof Behemoth. Because everything they have to do to dig to get to the hoof makes the hoof less lethal. I'm not good enough at math to predict how many creatures they're going to need to figure out the hoof on the fly. Not that it matters, like, I can't interact with them, so they're going to find it or they're not. And that's the whole story here. Every time I see Mother of Runes, I'm impressed that even back in the late 90s, they knew that target creature you control gains protection was going to be important rather than just target creature. Because a lot of cards from back then are just kind of crazy in the functionality they have, but this just like knocking auras off of other creatures or stifling an untap from a Wirewood Symbiote. That would just be stupid. Wow, Regal Force. What year is it? I'm so excited right now. They got that Regal Beagle in their deck instead of, or well, not necessarily instead of. I'm sure there's also a Crater Hoof, but that's hot. Big fan. I guess I can just F6 here. I can turn off my auto yields when they go to combat to absorb 1 damage with Giver. But until then, let's see how high my life total can go. Fucking Regal Force is so cool. I wonder if they also have Mirror Entity. How far back into time have they gone? Oh, they just concede. The elf player just went off and then conceded. We take those. That was weird, but count it. So my anti-combo sideboard doesn't really apply to elves because they don't care about their graveyard. They might have some abrupt decays or thought seizes. They don't really care about deafening silence. And I don't care at all about deafening silence, so maybe like what is the change here? I guess Gaddock Teague is good. That turns off Natural Order and Green Sun Zenith. The rest of these cards don't really matter. So I don't need Destiny Spinner because they don't have counter spells. Oh, creature and enchantment. I just read all the words on this card for the first time in my entire life. They can't counter creatures with Destiny Spinner in play either. That's a sweet one. Wow, how has this never come up in my life before that this stops creatures from getting countered? I love it. Okay, Gaddock Teague's in the deck. There is like some small utility of deafening silence in that, like, they can't glimpse and then later Zenith to keep their glimpse chain going. But at the same time, I would have to cut things for that, and my deck's pretty tight. Like I guess like I could cut Knight of Autumn for it, but like who cares? Like it if I'm putting in 1, I need to put in 4 because I'm a green-white deck with no cantrips and no way to tutor for the enchantment. So like if I think it's worth bringing in, I should bring in all of them. And like Scavenging Ooze and Knight of Autumn can at least like rumble in combat if they get committed to a fair plan. Like if I'm able to control them. Walking Ballista is just naturally good against what they're doing. Yeah, I'm just gonna submit this with the 1 Gaddock Teague in the deck over Destiny Spinner. Okay, so I can curve out. We see the library for the first time. That was an important one. But I can curve out Wardens. But I'm gonna go turn 1 Soul Warden, turn 2 Library, and get those cards flowing. I guess it depends on what they do turn 2. Like if they're setting up to combo, then maybe just playing out all the Soul Wardens is better. Because like we saw last game, if they like the Wardens do mess up Craterhoof Behemoth math pretty badly. Oh, black mana. All right, Thought Seizing. So let's see what they're worried about. Maybe they'll just take Library. And then I won't have to think about it at all. All right, deal. All right, so I'm gonna run out my Wardens, and then I can Zenith for Gaddock Teague on the following turn. Make sure to play Wardens they've already seen. They haven't seen the second Soul's Attendant. That's the one secret I have right now. Oh, Soul Sisters. Oh god, that ability's optional. That's annoying. Can't even F6 through it. Not completely. I guess I can say always yes. So I'll you can set auto yields to most things in most ways. Oh, another Thoughtseize. All right, I guess I'm losing my Zenith. And we're just they're more scared of the 4th Soul Sister than the 1st Zenith. That's interesting. They just conceded. Got that turn 2 win. All right, that was weird, but we'll take it. On the play for round 2, I'm gonna keep this. Like it's got some Wardens in it, and that's the deck, right? I have enough lands that I'm okay committing a non-basic to the battlefield. Like if they want to spend a turn wasting me, that's not actually good. Kind of trying to bait them into doing the wrong thing. Another Once Upon a Time deck. Botanical Sanctum in it. Oh dear, what's happening? You got me. So I have no idea what's happening right now. I'm gonna play Soul's Attendant first. This is not an island, so they can't daze. So I can get the extra life point off the giver. Alright, always yes, and always yield. Perfect. And I'm going to attack for the first time in this league. These creatures also have 1 power, which hasn't come up yet in any of the games played, but it's going to be, I think that's actually the primary win con. Like, we have this combo in the deck, but the primary win con's probably just going to be beating down with 1/1s. Is this an Urza deck? Like some sort of Surge Node pile? Alright, I'll attack with my 2 Wardens. I'm just going to pass here. I can fetch for Dryad Arbor in the end step. I think that's better than walking Ballista for 1. At least until I know what's going on over there. Ooh, they can seek some spells now. They're exiling stuff from their own graveyard. I wonder if they're just styling or if that matters. Wow, this has been a painful mana base. Alright, they decided not to take damage this time. Alright, this should give us a better plan of what they're actually up to. I wonder if this is a food chain deck. So Spellseeker can get... I don't even know. I don't know what they're doing. Yeah, very, very strange. So I could put Ballista for 2 into play, though I still don't think that does anything. I could play Soul Warden and then exile their relic with Skyclave Apparition. I'm just trying to think of, like, are they going to flip their graveyard into their deck, or are they just goofing around? I don't know. Guess I should try to figure out the clock. So I can attack for 3. They're on a 5-turn clock. Or I could just attack for 4. They're still... That makes it a 4-turn clock. If I play Skyclave Apparition... I don't know, I'm worried about them just playing this Oracle as a blocker. Though, I'm more likely just gonna lose than that happen, I think. Alright, I'll play my Apparition. I'll exile this before they can draw a card off it. And that just adds to my beaters. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can attack for 7 next turn. I think I need to get in with max damage. Like, this is clearly a combo deck. I'm getting Giver of Runes sideways. So 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I have them onto a 3-turn clock now, but 3 is a lot of turns. Alright, let's get more information about this combo now, I guess. Also, this Oracle makes it clear that they're not worried about my life total, which is kind of a bummer. Exile all cards from your library, then shuffle your graveyard into your library. Alright, so I was actually maybe right to get rid of the relic. Alright, so I'm going to play Cavern on Construct. And then cast the the ballista. Alright, so if I attack with everything, I should ping this before blocks. Maybe I'm not supposed to do that. I think I just fucked up. Because now that if they draw land, they can Paradigm Shift and Oracle for exactly 2. I think I needed to let Paradigm Shift resolve before I kill the Spellseeker. That also means I can't attack. Alright, they missed their land drop anyway, but alright, now I understand what they're doing at least. Alright, I gave them a window to rip an untapped land and kill me there. Whoops, alright. Paradigm Shift, huh? And Thassa's Oracle. Rest in Peace actually helps them. So, forget that. Oof and Night of Autumn seem like they might be relevant. Deafening Silence could slow them down. Like I don't know how many turns they need to double spell, or if this is more like a just like that game. They never played 2 spells in a turn, but they were also like mana screwed pretty hard. So what do I want to do about this? I think I can cut some givers because they did not really interact with me much on the board. Scavenging Ooze seems more helpful to them than to me. Apparition is good. Didn't really see counter spells. They are a blue deck. I should assume they have them, but I'm gonna cut the Destiny Spinner. Just have to make room somewhere. Maybe I just cut all of the mother effects. So I don't have to cut all of them. So I can cut 2 more. And there's still 1-drops. Galactic Vow of Summer. None of those seem super important. Is Destiny Spinner better than Mother of Runes? It is a 2/3. Alright, I'll cut another Mother. Alright, here's the plan. Got that D-Silence. Let's hope it matters. I have to assume this deck plays Lotus Petals and stuff. Like, it just seems like such an easy inclusion for what they're trying to do. Yep, Lotus Petals and stuff. Chrome Mox in this case. Oh, and Aether Vial, oh my god. Well, I have Knight of Autumn in hand, so that's good. So I can Zenith for Dryad Arbor right now, and I think that's gonna serve me better than Deafening Silence. I can play Silence whenever. Like now I just think that clearing this Aether Vial is gonna be more important. Or maybe Stone Raining them with Chrome Mox. We'll see how this turn looks. But yeah, if they can Vial for 2, put in... Oh, just True Name Nemesis. Alright, cool. So they're on the beatdown plan, which I can certainly defeat. This is awkward. I'm kind of gated on white mana here. They have 1 card in their hand. Yeah, I don't think they can go off with 1 card. And they've committed to this beatdown plan, so I'm just gonna get on board here. Start gaining life. You want to put True Name Nemesis into your deck against the Soul Warden deck? I'm going to punish you for it. I did just let Aether Vial get up to 2, so if their hand is just Paradigm Shift plus Oracle, whatever, you got me. Just no attacks. True Name Nemesis. Not my Nemesis. I'm not impressed. This. Alright, I have infinite life now, if I want it. Okay, infinite life is achieved. So I don't have to worry about this True Name Nemesis. Now I have to figure out how to not die to their combo. And if a creature comes into play, my shit starts to grow. And I don't have to like do the combo. It doesn't do anything other than increase my life total, which is not super relevant right now. Like I want to go off in response to other things. All right, so now it's time to start growing my other creatures. And I think I want to take out Aether Vial the most. Grow this. I want to get as many creatures above 4 toughness as possible. Just start here. Heliod is 1 Deafening Silence away from being a 5/5. Yeah, creature was a great draw. Creature that turns on Heliod, no less. Blow up one of these mana sources. Alright, then grow Spike Feeder. An extra counter on Spike Feeder just ensures the combo works. And I guess giving anything lifelink now isn't relevant because they can just block with their protection creature. But I'm going to attack with my 3 creatures that are bigger than True Name. And I am going to commit the Deafening Silence. I just don't want to get comboed out, because I can't lose by fair means right now. Because they could still like land Paradigm Shift, Thassa's Oracle. Nope, didn't have it. Alright, another one. Undefeated in games and matches so far. Let's keep it rolling. Alright, so I'm on the play here. I think I keep this. Like, I wish I had another land, but I'm gonna fetch for Savannah and Zenith for Dryad Arbor. And hopefully that sets me up. And if there's some sort of Delver deck that can like force this, then waste me, then I'm fucked. But whatever. I have a chance to cast Sylvan Library. I'm gonna do it. Ooh, Cavern of Souls decks generally do have Wasteland in them, but okay, so human. This should be a matchup that the Soul Sisters just obliterate. Land, please, land, please, land, please. Alright, wasn't a land. I am going to get my Sylvan Library into play. That's the most important thing that's happening right now. And So I can just pay 8 life with impunity. Yeah, they found the wasteland. They're incentivized to do that because I just missed a land drop, but they're also disincentivized because I have Sylvan Library. Like, I think they would rather get on board. Yeah, there's Thalia. I don't care about her. That was kind of best case scenario for me because them tapping out for a thing I don't care about at all versus wasting me, that's a deal. This is where I just start paying for life for everything. So, Essence Warden, Essence Warden, and Soul Attendant. I think that having more Soul Sisters in play is more important than having Mother active. Because I need this library to keep chunking, and it's going to be really hard for them to race 3 to 5 Soul Sisters. And now if they waste me, they're just so far behind on board to this life gain that it just doesn't even matter. Attacking with Mother of Runes, I don't blame them at all. I think that is absolutely the right play here. No block. Looks like Aether Vial is coming in. Or they just tap their cavern weirdly. Alright, they wasted the Caracas. No land drop, no play. We should be able to mop this up pretty quick. Oh, bummer. Put on top of this, and I'll pay for this. So another Warden. Always yes. Always yield. Another Warden. I'm definitely winning this race, and we're showing the library half of the deck right now in spectacular fashion. Honestly, I'm impressed that they haven't conceded yet. Non-land card name. So I do have Spike Feeder and Heliod and Walking Ballista all in the deck. Let's see how heads up they are. Do they know what I'm up to yet? There was a printing of Sylvan Library where it was an activated ability, and it's a triggered ability under the current rules. Sylvan Library and Legends was a trigger, and then in like 5th edition, it was an activated ability, and then uh, it's back to being a trigger. All right, they named Chrome Mox. Okay, they think I'm some sort of stompy deck, which I'm not. That's a reasonable card to name. Rough stuff. All right. All right. Yeah, they're just packing it up. They see what's going on here. They're not getting out of this. All right. So we're playing against humans. This should be a cakewalk. Collector Oof can mess with Aether Vial, and Knight of Autumn can just be a 4/3 creature. It can also pick off Aether Vial. We don't need Destiny Spinner in this matchup. Scavenging Ooze, like in a mid-game Scavenging Ooze could be like kind of large, but I don't think that's really what this game is about. They're probably boarding in Plague Engineers, so my Skyclave Apparitions and Walking Ballistas are on cleanup duty for that. But I think that's all I have to do here. They also didn't see any pieces of the combo. All right, let's keep smushing humans. These linear attacking decks were just so set up to defeat them. It's laughable. Let's hope this keeps happening. I would love to give Eric a smooth 5-0, 10-0 league with his crazy brew. Soul Sisters are completely unbeatable in Legacy, it seems. Alright, I have an attendant and a library. Walking Ballista just naturally in the hand is a huge deal. Dryad Arbor naturally in the hand sucks. Also, no planes sucks, like basic planes. Aha! Getting paid. So if they Thalia here, then it slows down my Sylvan library. Chalice of the Void. Okay, that's kind of shitty, but also fine. Just gonna thin this deck out a little bit. Not gonna attack. They want a Violin, Mother of Runes. I'm not gonna let them ambush me. I have everything in my deck that can remove a Chalice in the deck. Like nothing got sideboarded out. Plus I play 4 Caverns, so I can just push through. Relic Warder. Oh, brutal. Alright, Relic Warder's pretty good. I can pick that off with Ballista eventually. Alright, so time to check out what the creature type distribution actually is, because there's actually a mix. I think human's going to be the best one. So this is human, this is human, this is human. This is an elf shaman, human cleric, human cleric, human cleric, core cleric. Alright, so there's a cleric overlap here. Core spirit. So I have to name something that Mother of Runes is. So I think cleric has the most overlap. Yeah. Yep. So Essence Warden doesn't overlap at all. Destiny Spinner is a human, but not a cleric. But I'm pretty sure I boarded that out. So that's... I'm going to name cleric. All right. Chalice triggers. This can't be countered. And then I'm going to play the Dryad Arbor as well. Oh no, I played fucking Cavern this turn. Never mind. All right, so next turn I can Ballista for 2, which gets me my Sylvan Library back. So they could revoke Mother here. Oh, Stoneforge Mystic, that's a good one. They got the Jete. Maybe they were not humans at all. Maybe they're... Alright, I'm kind of embarrassed how long it took me to figure this out. They are not humans, they're just death and taxes. But they had a draw last game that looked like it was humans. Figured it out eventually. They are going to need a Flicker Wisp to get through this Mother of Runes with Jete. Ooh, that was a good one. I'm going to exile Aether Vial. For sure. Like, I barely care about Chalice, but Aether Vial could definitely kill me. So like this thing has to put in a Flicker Wisp right now, or we're good for quite some time. Oh no. Damn it. Alright, now we might lose. Yep. That's what they had to have, and they did. So they're gonna pick off two things. I guess, like, if they pick off my mother and attendant immediately, then Walking Ballista can kill Flicker Wisp. And then they have to... Is like, there's no reason to kill Soul's Attendant right away. I guess I could have played around this whole line if I just played Ballista last turn instead of Apparition. Like, if I just leave Ballista in play on one, that deals with the Flicker Wisp. So yeah, I probably messed this up. Alright, Knight of Autumn off the top. Another creature I can't cast, and yeah, they left a counter on Jete, so I can't pick off the Wisp. So yeah, they did that one. And now I know that they're actually Death and Taxes instead of full on humans. That's good to know. It doesn't change my sideboarding basically at all, though. Yeah, every single thing is still the same. All right, back in we go. Same deck, but now I'm on the play, and I have better information. Yeah, this is going to be hard for them to mess with. I probably should have led on Mother. But this is what I've done. This has to be an Aether Vial hand. Yep. Alright, let's get this Sylvan Library into play where it belongs right now. And get that to work. Even get to attack. And play draw is huge here. I have lands to hit, I have a Ballista. Oh, just putting Jete into play. That's kind of scary. I'm gonna keep them all. Let's see. I think I have to get... No, I can keep playing around. Yeah, I can keep playing around Wasteland here. I can afford it. I can diversify with Giver and Mother of Runes. I could have also played Ballista on one to make sure this Jete doesn't connect. So I think running out both Givers is better than playing a Mother, because that just gives me more toughness that they have to work through with the Jete. If they do go for like the suicide, Violin Mother, equip Jete, fire in. Alright, they didn't have it. I missed an attack there too. Like if they were setting up the Mother of Runes get in with Jete plan, I would prefer to trade with it during my own combat step. So that was a missed attack with that Essence Warden. Alright, my library is going away now. Alright, but that's... Alright, so is this Revoker? Oh, it's Thalia, okay. So a land is a big deal. That's like good, but for later. I'm gonna have to use this Ballista just to make sure I don't lose to this Thalia. And I have to do it right now because they have Caracas. Then Heliod is still one devotion away from being something I want. Now this is up to 3, they can make a flyer. They can like port me twice and make a flyer. This is actually a really scary spot. Doing this main phase is kind of exciting, also kind of terrifying. So this can get the Wisp, but I don't, is that really the best thing to get here? I guess they can cast Wisp, bounce one of their lands, and still port me. And then the Jitte is still set up for next turn. Yeah, I'm actually in a lot of trouble here. Is being soft to flyers is a huge punish. No, this is not Flicker Wisp, or they're just tapping wrong. Alright, it is Flicker Wisp. So I'm hoping that they flicker Recruiter. Okay. So like that's the like smart long-term value play for the Death and Taxes player, but it means they can't port me this turn, which gives me some live outs to kill this Jitte. If I can remove Jitte, I think I'm gonna win. Deck Knight of Autumn. Yes! That's how you do it. Just shout out the card you want to draw, and then you do it. Magic the Gathering. Right, I can still attack with these. I can actually get 3 attacks in here, as I can protect those with the other ones. And then Heliod will arrive as a creature next turn. Or they can still port. So I would have to draw a land for that to work. But this Jitte being in the graveyard is just a huge weight off the shoulders. So this is going to name one of the mothers, I assume. Probably the one I have 2 of. Yep, they named Giver. So they can just attack for 3, put me to 28. Though it might be better as a blocker, honestly. Alright, nope. In they go. Alright, so I really want to draw a land to jam Heliod and just grow my creatures out of range. Because they're gonna port my forest. Come on, land. Land. Easy money. Alright, so I'm gonna name Cleric with this. Then cast this Heliod, who is a creature who will trigger all my wardens. Then I'm gonna grow my Givers into 2/3s, assuming this all happens. Like they could flicker out one of my white permanents. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna grow my Givers. Because they can both attack this turn if I do this. And they're turned off anyway, so I don't care. So they have blocks that can turn off Heliod, but I don't really care that Heliod is on as a creature that much. I'm going to let us go to damage here because they're showing Vial for 3 on Flicker Wisp. Yeah, that's fine. Like, I don't want to commit my mother and then they just flicker. Though it's also possible they were just lining up the obvious block and I missed an easy one. But now any creature that comes into play puts 2 extra power onto my board. Remember that time I drew Knight of Autumn the turn I was dead to Umezawa's Jitte? That was great. And now if they leave up double port, it probably makes more sense for them to port me off white. Oh no, 4 mana. Is this like Gideon or some shit? Or Cataclysm? Alright, Ballista. Yeah, I'm glad they didn't bring in Cataclysm. This is fun. I can sort of choose where their walking ballistas go by dancing around with Heliod here. They probably want to take out Mother. Alright, I'm going to put it on Mother. Because I would rather have Essence Warden in play. They can pick off whatever one they want, but I'm sort of directing their attention where I don't really care. Yeah, alright. So now I get to keep my +1 counter, which I wouldn't have been able to do if I put it on Essence Warden. Alright, they are tapped out of ports this turn, so I'm going to get to Library. Ooh. Soul Sister, Soul Sister. So if they ping Essence Warden in response to this, then Heliod is a 5/5 that can attack this turn. If they wait, then I get an extra Heliod trigger. So this is kind of a tight squeeze either way. Alright, fine. In Days Go. Alright, I am going to give Pro White here. That's worth it. And then we have the nail. I am tapped out though, and I even if they have like Cataclysm here, I have Library online now. I can dig out of that pretty well. I don't even know if Death and Taxes plays Cataclysm anymore. Oh, Heliod is a legend. That is true. I hadn't even considered that. He's kind of better as not a creature in that case. Though now I'm guaranteed a creature to trigger this Soul Warden and get another attack this turn. Oh, they're tapping mana, playing out that Aether Vial. Now they can't port me. They've not been particularly cautious with their Rishadan ports, and every time they don't port me, this game has been excellent for me. Alright, pay for. Yup. I can't win all this turn, so I think I lead on Heliod. Always yield to that. Put the counter here. Let's start growing the the girls. Oh, right, I can't cast 2 spells. Oh, I can cast this spell and put 2 counters on it immediately. Or 1 counter on it immediately. Someday I'll learn how to count. But that day is not this day. Oh, they just conceded to it. Love it, love it. That was awesome. All right, that opponent had the audacity to take a game off us, but we're still 3-0, just shredding through this league. All right, we're on the play here in round 4. And this hand has a Mom, Soul Warden, and some other stuff in it. Like, what else do you want? I'm gonna lead with the Mom. Against an unknown opponent, like, we played a few matches where it doesn't really matter, or where Soul Warden's actually just better to have in play starting early, but in general, getting Mother of Runes active is the better line. A basic swamp. All right. This deck is likely to contain Plague Engineer, at least in the sideboard, if not the main deck. I'll try to spin some Destiny here. If they have a counter spell, this will force it. No pun intended. As they're not going to be able to do anything else with their counter spells after that. I mean, they can like kill this in response and then counter a spell if they're, but Mother of Runes makes that a lot harder. So now removal spells and counter spells in their hand are both dead. But Plague Engineer is a serious monster. I could Apparition their Astrolabe, which might screw them. I also might just lose to that. So close call. I'm gonna get my creatures out onto the board here. If they have Dead of Winter, I lose. I think that just I can play around that a little bit by avoiding the Dryad Arbor. Alright, I will do that. They could play Icefang Coatl here, but I can protect with Mother. Yeah, I want to save this Skyclave Apparition for something like Oko that I haven't had to face yet in this league, but probably is tough to beat. So they liked one of those Brainstorm cards. They could have fetched, but didn't. The Winter is dead. Alright, glad I played around it by not running out Dryad Arbor. So this might be a spot for this Apparition. Just eat up that Astrolabe, play Dryad Arbor, and ship it. Alright, they just had a forest anyway, so I probably just punted that one. Oh god, Sylvan Library. The hits keep coming. Alright, they can't cast Icefang Coatl with the mana they have. They could have cast Swords to Plowshares and blocked with the illusion token, so I need to be a little more cognizant about that. But I'm not in a position where I can attack. I went for a big play eating that Astrolabe, but them just having basic forest in hand wrecked me pretty good. But their life total is under some pressure. And turn 3 Dead of Winter's fucked. We haven't had to play against that yet. Alright, so another Dead of Winter. These lists generally play two, and they've had both of them in the first 5 turns. So probably not winning this one. I don't think I need to run my land out. Like, I don't know what I'm bluffing, but also just playing it seems questionable. The Sylvan Library is my only source of card advantage in the deck. So I need a library, but they already have a library. So this is looking bad, is what I'm saying. If they have like anything here, like Uro, Oko, like anything to progress the game, I will just concede. Isn't this some shit? Back-to-back Dead of Winter. They chose to shuffle off that Ponder, that's fun. Alright, Mom, get in there. They can't hardcast Forest, they don't have double blue. They can cast Icefang Coatl. I don't have another Dryad Arbor in the deck, which would be something worth fetching if I had it, but I don't, so it won't. Alright, just taking one card off of the library. We like that. Oko's bad news. I probably should concede, but I'm gonna keep drawing here and just see what happens. Alright, I'm gonna attack them in their face, and if they have Icefang Coatl, I'll concede. Like, I understand the risk of this attack, but I do need to get their life total down. Like, there is some potential world where I just cheese them out with a Ballista or something. Or if I can find Heliod and get to work. The attack for 6 puts me to 9. I'm gonna fetch, just get that minor thinning out. That's a life point. If it resolves and Essence Warden is still in play, that is. Hardcast Force, okay. If they find like an Astrolabe, they can just trade it for Essence Warden. They could also just stop attacking a little bit. I guess a like food token is undoes several turns of Essence Warden attacking all on its own. Alright. Double Dead of Winter is a problem. Who would have known? Alright, so how do I mitigate that? Collector Oof I like because it messes with their Astrolabes. It messes with my Ballistas too, but I think I still like it. Rest in Peace will stop Uros from taking over the game. I think the big problem was I never stuck a Sylvan Library that game. Or May did. So I'll bring in my answer to their library. I have Scavenging Ooze in the Zenith package, so Rest in Peace just for Uro doesn't sound particularly appealing. Destiny Spinner actually looks real good. Oh, we're finally in a match where there's not a lot of easy cuts to make in the sideboard. If they're going to have a bunch of Wraths and Plague Engineers, then maybe I do want to go a little skinnier on Mother. This Mother encourages you to extend into Wraths, and they're going to have spot removal too, but Plague Engineer also. So, alright. Hopefully I can draw a diverse selection of creatures and multiple Sylvan libraries. That's not the hand for it. Alright, found a Sylvan library. This is a keep. I'm going to send, I think, Ballista to the bottom. Because I have this Oof, which is a non-bow. And then I'm going to Zenith for Dried Arbor right now. And if they have like Plow for the Arbor, I still have the turn 2 library. Like I gave some consideration to the Veil of Summers in the sideboard. Just not super convinced that like how often we're going to need that. Alright, hope this resolves. It won't if they can do anything about it. But I'm allowed to dream. Alright, so good for a Hymn to Turok, at least. Now let's draw one of the other three, quickly. Or a Heliod, like a quick Heliod, could also put real pressure on them. These don't have any creature types that line up. Alright, what does that do? I can Zenith for 2. I could get Spinner. Or Ooze. And they all just die to Dead of Winter, which I'm not super stoked about. Alright, I guess I'll go for it. Test for a counter spell. If they counter this now, then they won't ambush my Soul Warden with a snake when I attack. Oh, bummer. Alright, yeah, I'm glad I started with that. Alright, so I can search for something now that I don't want in my deck anymore. I can thin my deck out, or I can just decline to, like, Veil to Find. I'm going to get rid of an Essence Warden. That's just not a card I want to draw at this point. So that's not a snow land, though it should be. And they don't have an Astrolabe. They do have this fucking thing. Maximum non-bow here. I drew the Walking Ballista, which can deal with Containment Priest, but not with Collector Oof in play. I just hope they're going to have to deal with Collector Oof. Yeah, this is so bad. This is why I like being on the Snoko side of random matchups, because you just have generic answers and generic card advantage, and you're not trying to do anything specific. Like, we played against 3 decks now that are all trying to do something specific, and it just happened to line up poorly against the specific thing we're trying to do. Decks like Snoko and Rug Delver and, you know, Brainstorm control kind of decks, they can do a little bit of everything, and it's really good. That Containment Priest was super heads up. Did I even cast a Green Sun Zenith in game 1? Or did they just know to bring this in? I guess they saw Dryad Arbor game 1. That's a big signal that I have Green Sun Zenith. Oh wow, if they Dead of Winter right now, it'll kill 3 of my permanents and 0 of theirs. That's so fucked up. Wow. That managed to work out perfectly. I am not gonna attack into Canadian Priest. I probably should. Like, their life total is... It's always a resource, but it's a tight resource right now with them being at 9 with Sylvan Library. I don't know. I hope I mana screwed them effectively, but they have all these dual lands in play. Probably not. Yep, should have attacked. Confirmed. Oh, I'm getting buried. Alright, there's no way back into this game. We didn't combo fast enough in either game. They had sweepers, they had answers, they had our number that game. That's fine. That happens. That's what their deck's built to do. The clean sweep, the dream is over, but we could still get this 4-1. Let's go do it. I'm on the play for the finals, and we have a turn 1 Soul Sister into turn 2 Library. I'm in. I'm going to fetch Basic Forest, because I really want to have 2 mana on turn 2. Uh-oh, Ancient Tomb. This is a Chalice deck. Oh, Ballista. Alright, that's fine. If they want a 1-for-1 off a Ballista to kill that thing, that's a deal. So Sylvan Library is not a legendary permanent, nor is it an enchant world. So you can actually go off with 2 of them, which is not something I had considered until right now when I have 2 of them in hand, which is pretty nice. That would be a good way to use 10 to 20 extra life points. Though we might just be getting dumpstered by some fast mana deck here. Let's hope this library delivers what I want. Skyclave Apparition should be pretty good in this spot. If they have like Thought-Knot Seer right now, that would be a bit of a bummer. But if Library produces a white source, I should be able to answer most things they produce here. And if they don't do anything, I can just eat the Monolith. Or my deck could fail to produce the white source. Alright, so I don't need the Ballista. I will keep this. That's a bummer. We had a big window there to deliver. Alright. Shucks. What you gonna do with all that mana? I mean, Ugin is not a beatable card for our deck. 6 mana. That's not Ugin, not the big one anyway. There is the small Ugin that these decks tend to play. Golos. Shit. Yep, Skyclave Apparition cannot eat Golos, so now I need to focus on comboing before they do. Alright, the combo is in my hand. Come on, deck. But I am just choking on mana here. Alright, I'm gonna pay all of it. So I can cast Heliod now. And then next turn, if I draw a white source, I can win. Like, I play Ballista for 1, triggers Soul Attendant, Heliod puts a counter on Ballista. I give it lifelink and then I shoot him out. Though they have 8 mana right now, which is the Ugin number. Fuck my life. Yeah, we're not coming back from that. All of that stemmed from missing that white source on the draw 3. Like if I have Skyclave Apparition eat the Grim Monolith, then they can't Golos that turn. It doesn't find the second Cloud Post, and I have the extra draw step to find a white source and kill them. So, FML. Alright, so Mother of Runes is not good here. Giver of Runes has some utility, but mostly also not great. And Mother is just completely bad. I could bring in Deafening Silence just to stop them from like Monolith into Ugin kind of stuff. But how many of those am I going to bring in? I don't think I want to cut anything else for it. Maybe like Mother of Runes just being a 1-drop is better. Nah, I'll play the 1 of Deafening Silence, whatever. I would bring in Veil of Summer, so you could like Veil through a Chalice and cast a bunch of spells, but if they have Chalice, it's going to be on 1, which is not helpful. This basic plane's also not helpful. Alright, we got another library hand. I'll keep it. Dryad Arbor on the bottom where it belongs. I'm going to lead on Giver. Because protection from colorless is a thing. You can't Ballista this. If there's the Chalice. I am shocked. I'm going to attack. Like, it can't protect itself from walking Ballista anyway, and life total does matter when they lead on Ancient Tomb. Blast Zone on 1 is completely fucked. Oh my god. Right, maybe this library will be kinder. Not really. Put on top, and I guess I'll pay 4 for one of these, just to have less lands in my deck. So I'm gonna play this one, which can fetch the Dryad Arbor to keep pressure on. And I'm gonna attack here. Or do I commit this Soul Sister? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They could Ugin next turn. Alright, I'm gonna play the Soul. Oh, nope, nope, nope. Shit, I'm so dumb. They have a Chalice in play. That's why I haven't played the Soul Attendant. Yep. I just misclicked my way, or brain farted my way into having Dryad Arbor in play for no reason. Like if they Wrath me this turn, and I can't fetch Dryad Arbor to keep pressure on, that's really bad. Alright, it's small Ugin who will parlay directly into big Ugin next turn. I guess they need to untap Basalt Monolith for that to matter. Backup Chalice on 1. How about a Knight of Autumn? Or Collector Oof? Okay, so I'm gonna pay 4 to keep this and put this on top. I don't need it. So I can Zenith for 3 to destroy something, but they have 2 Chalices now, and Basalt Monolith doesn't matter. What does Zenith for 3 do for me? Destiny Spinner. I can Zenith for 2, get Destiny Spinner, then cast Soul's Attendant. That doesn't save me from Ugin next turn. But it does get through these chalices. I didn't board it out, did I? No, good. All right. Phew. What a relief. All right, let's do that. So I'll get Destiny Spinner and cast Soul's Attendant. And then I'll just pass the turn, I guess. I'm leaving up Giver. Giver can protect Destiny Spinner from Ugin. So I'm pretty close to infinite life. I'm not sure if this deck cares about infinite life though. Like, and on Magic Online there is no infinite life. Like, in real life I could say like 800 trillion life, and then there's not enough time in a human lifespan to attack for that much damage, even if they put their whole deck into play. But if this deck has like Emrakul the Aeon's Torrent in it, they can just put some amount of. They can just get up to 8 cards in hand and discard Emrakul every turn, and then I would end up decking. I think they're just blast zoning right now. Oh no, Ballista for 3. That's way worse. So they should target Giver first. All right, I'll put their attention over here. If they pick off Soul's Attendant instead of Dryad Arbor, I'm pretty happy with that. Got him. All right. That's a deal. And I gain 2 life this turn, which means I can Library with Reckless Abandon. Oh, hell yeah, Cradle. Come on, deck, show me Heliod. Fuck. So I guess I can get my Scavenging Ooze pretty big here. Yeah, I think I want to top, and I'll just use my Misty to shuffle. I don't think running out Spike Feeder makes much sense, because then they'll know for sure what I'm up to, and I want to have some plausible deniability. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, there's fucking Ugin. All right. Yeah, just absolutely dumpstered by Ugin here. I'll at least gain some life on the way out. Yeah, this deck is like custom built to beat my deck. They even have Sorcerer's Spyglass to turn off Spike Feeder, so I can't combo. Not that that's gonna matter. I guess 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. No, I was still a mana short. Yeah, I needed to hit something. I needed to hit Heliod last turn to gain infinite life. All right. Unfortunate end. That started so hot and then fell off right at the end. We still got a 3/2 with Soul Sisters in Legacy, and that's strong. I think that I want, and I guess Skyclave Apparition is one of the best cards. Uh, one of the best cards in a deck like this. That like one of the most versatile cards in a deck like this. Um, I'm not sure if we want to go the full like modern collected company route because we don't have mana dinguses. Like we don't have Birds of Paradise and Noble Hierarch. I'm just trying to think like we had basically no recourse to a sweeper uh, at any point in the game. Like there's nothing in this 75 that would protect from a Dead of Winter at any point. That's kind of a problem. Like Dead of Winter specifically is a tough one to fight against because it's -X. Though, um, like a Wrath of God or Damnation, that kind of thing, you could play Selfless Spirit or Dauntless Escort. Um, but yeah, I think this deck might have to just accept that it's going to lose to a sweeper. The problem is it's such a Voltron deck that like you really want 2 or 3 Soul Sisters going off. If there was another thing like Sylvan Library, like having 4 of it is nice and it's a good way to reload, but you do only play 4 of it, and the format is pretty good at answering Sylvan Libraries these days because the control decks all play them. Uh, I I'm not sure how to improve this deck without hurting the plan. Like we saw in the first 3 matches how messed up having 12 Soul Wardens is against anyone who's trying to attack you. Like Elves just went off twice and conceded twice. That was so funny. But then against the decks that don't particularly care about your life total, like Colorless Ramp and Snowco, we basically spent our first several turns doing nothing, just putting irrelevant bodies on the board. So, or maybe some sort of sideboard pivot is what the deck needs, rather than trying to play around Wraths, like play through them. Maybe we want like shifting Ceratops in the board, something like that, some way to crush. Choke could be in this sideboard. And there's a lot of respect for combo here, but basically no respect for control. So choke could be good. Yeah, like those are my thoughts. I could sit here and talk for probably 20 minutes about like thoughts of what might be good, like all untested ideas. But I think choke would go a long way, um, at least in those Wrath of God matchups, and some sort of beater out of the sideboard, like yeah, like shifting Ceratops, like Dragon Lord Dromoka. Probably not Dromoka. Swords of Plowshares is in the format. But yeah, like that sort of thing. I'll actually, what does Dromoka even do? What are the words on that card? Uh can't be countered, flying lifelink, opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Alright, yeah, so it doesn't grant hexproof. Swords of Plowshare still wrecks it. But yeah, like something in the sideboard. I don't think we actually need all this hate. Like the 4 Vala Summers or whatever. I like the expanded Zenith package. Being able to naturally draw Knight of Autumn by loading up on them in the main won me the Death and Taxes matchup, but this is a lot of Veil of Summer. So I would do something else with those slots. All right, thanks for watching. This deck was a lot of fun. Sorry I couldn't trophy with Soul Sisters, but we did end up with a positive record with Soul Sisters. We made a little bit of money. I'm actually going to open our 1 treasure chest we got in celebration and see if the Soul Sisters can pay us. Nope. All right. It was a short-lived celebration, just like the momentum in this league. Thank you, Eric, for the deck. If you want me to play your deck, my contact info is in the video description. Hit me up. Let's do more stuff like this in the future. Thanks for watching. See you next time.